Hey everybody, and welcome to this special on Mercury transiting in Capricorn. So first I'm just going to talk about the summary of the positive, negatives, best use of Mercury transiting in Capricorn. Then I'm going to talk about this year's Mercury in Capricorn and the aspects that Mercury is making to the other planets, as well as any configurations like a T-square. And then I'm going to go more in depth and talk about the karma and things. So the positives of Mercury going into Capricorn, it increases our focus, we can become more disciplined. Also, it can increase our communication skills because Capricorn brings grounding to Mercury's flexible energy, so we can just be more grounded in taking in information, speaking information, and just reading the room, Also, it allows us to think more logically and strategically, but negatively, it can make us more serious in our thinking and communication, inflexible, and make us overthink and criticise ourselves and others, thinking, we are the only one that know how to do everything. This can cause conflicts in our relationship, as well as not expressing our emotions, because Capricorn energy can make us more emotionally colder, grounded, more stable, but also just more reserved as well. And this difficulty in expressing emotions openly can cause problems in our relationships. Psychologically, it allows us to be more ambitious, bringing more clarity to our mental, rational thinking and processing skills, encouraging us to adopt a more disciplined approach to our thoughts and communication, taking more accountability in our day-to-day life. So it allows us to commit to things, to reassess our commitments as well, especially our commitments when it comes to our communications. It wants us to be more logical, be more strategic, and focus more on long-term goals and achieving them, creating plans, reassessing plans on how we can, get there. And we know research has shown that making plans, writing it down, following it, can make us checking it off and stuff, which I'm being more hard on myself about from now forward the new year, because it's one of my New Year's resolution, So just thinking about how you can become more organised and detailed, orientated, and just more efficient in your thinking processes. The best use of this energy is to use it for goal setting and effective communication, doing more complex technical tasks and negotiating in like our business deals or career sort of promotions and stuff like that. Just really going after that long-term success and taking day-to-day action that can bring about touchable results. So Mercury in Capricorn helps us to become more stable in our thinking and communication overall. So this year, when Mercury enters Capricorn on the 1st of February to the 20th of February, it's making a few aspects. So first, Mercury is making a square to the moon. So this can make it hard for us to be more logical in our thinking, because the moon is making us more emotional, and this will cloud the whole of the Mercury in Capricorn period this year. So over the 3 weeks we may have mood swings and feelings of being mentally scattered, and some of us may find it hard to express our thoughts clearly, or we may become overwhelmed by the emotional or psychological intensity of certain conversations. So we may want to avoid especially intimate relationship conversations as well. Ultimately, if we're winning, this energy of the moon square to Mercury positively gives us an opportunity to find that needed balance between our rational mind and our emotions, and this can lead to deeper insights and understanding. Mercury's conjunction to Mars is also influencing this year's Mercury in Capricorn's transit, so this allows us to increase our communication skills, so supports all of that, expressing our ideas more confidently and all of that, taking quick action, being quick in our verbal comebacks, so good for comedy and, dry, witty, sort of that sober, deadpan humour that Capricorn energy are famous for. Helps us with our logical analysis, but it can make us more impulsive and more argumentative, so we just need to make sure that we temper watch what we're saying and be diplomatic, respecting other people's boundaries and considering the potential consequences of our words and actions right now. Mercury also makes a trine to Uranus, and this brings unpredictability. Although it's separating, it's still contributing in the next few weeks. It can make our thoughts be more, flow more effortlessly. We can have unique insights and unconventional ideas, so that's really good because it's good for problem solving and coming up with that life-changing idea in business or spirituality or technology or whatever. We may find ourselves more drawn to using technology at this time as well and having more new ways of thinking, but we just have to be cautious not to become too detached from reality or dismissive of practical considerations. So we just need to watch out for being idealistic. We have to, ground our out-of-the-box ideas with reality, and we can only do this by making them, making sure that the standard reality tests can we implement, and we can implement a lot more than what we wish. Some people may say, it's hard to change, leopards never change its spots. No, you can, but it is hard work. So as long as you give things the right time and energy to appear and manifest in your life and take practical actions, then you can do it. It also allows us to express ourselves more authentically and be open to feedback and working with others. This is good as well. The best use of this energy of Mercury is trying to Uranus. Mercury also makes a sextile to Neptune, so this supports us being creative, intuitive. So adding that into with some of the logic thinking, we can get our point across in a way that captivates others right now. So good for storytelling, podcasting, content creating, and networking in general. Also a great energy to engage in our spiritual development as well, or our intellectual, scientific or technological development, whatever you're into. But we just need to watch out for getting lost in fantasy or deceiving ourselves and others, because we can lie more, deceive more right now, and we can also want to escape as well, because Neptune can always make us run into our addictive habits, so overdoing drugs, alcohol and other intoxicating things or people. So just watch out for that. We have to stay grounded in reality while also infusing creativity and intuition and beauty into our communication. And Mercury sextile to Neptune allows us to become more poetic and romantic and affectionate with our words. So great for planning date nights or romantic getaways and stuff like that over the next 2 to 3 weeks. Mercury's conjunction to Pluto again brings depth and intensity, so again we can be nasty with our words, so we just have to watch out for that, and being gossipy and jealous and taking revenge. But positively allows us to dig deep, uncover hidden truths, empowers us with the ability to dig beneath the surface and get to the heart of any matters. But it can make us excessive and controlling in our communication, playing mind games for the sake of it. But ultimately this energy can help us transform our thinking patterns and behaviours and gain a better understanding of complex issues and our own behaviours and change it. Especially if we do suffer from being jealous or obsessive and stuff like that. Mercury also makes a square to the Moon's North Node, so this also supports us working with others, but highlights the push and pull dynamic between being independent and meeting other people's needs as well. It supports us in expressing our ideas and opinions, but also adds to the resistance and opposition and conflict we may get with interacting with other people right now as well. So just again, make sure you respect others' boundaries, assert your own, but just try and come from a place as how can I resolve this rather than how can I make this worse. At the time of Mercury going into Capricorn this year, there's also a T-square between the Moon in Virgo, Mercury in Capricorn, Mars that's in Sagittarius, and the Moon's North Node, which is in Pisces. So a T-square is basically a kind of aspect that looks like a right-angled triangle in an astrology chart. That kind of looks like a T when plotted as well. So ultimately, T-square energy makes us more practical and determined, which is good because Mercury in Capricorn wants us to do that, but also brings tension and challenges because it can just make us too focused on getting our own way and not focused on meeting other people's needs, which can cause a lot of problems in all types of relationship. So the Moon in Virgo and Mercury in Capricorn allows us to pay attention to detail and organise and strategically plan, which is good at supporting the energy of what Mercury wants us to do in Capricorn. It helps us by bringing a fertile ground for focus and disciplined thinking and allowing us to prioritise tasks and approach challenges more efficiently, which is good, so we can excel in areas that require careful analysis and problem solving right now. Also financial management and project planning, whether these are your jobs or whether you want to rearrange how you manage your household or your own finances and stuff like that. Mars in Sagittarius helps us to pursue our goals and take action with more courage and optimism, getting outside of our comfort zones, pushing us to make progress in our chosen plans. But on the negative end, the North Node in Pisces can add to the confusion of today, making us question our direction or purpose or just lacking it. We can want to escape, as I said earlier, into daydream and fantasies rather than take practical steps towards our goals. But Mercury in Capricorn in this T-square energy becomes crucial for us to tap into, as it can make sure we maintain a clear sense of direction amongst the dreamy energy of the North Node in Pisces, allowing for us to stay on track and to put off instant gratification, what Mars and Sagittarius can make us want. Want us to just be reckless and have pleasure now, not work, and just not think of the consequences and take excessive risks. But if we positively try and stay grounded, we can overcome these negatives as well. And ultimately, this T-square just allows us to push boundaries, but doing it in a way that's thoughtful to others' boundaries and needs as well. Okay, so that's the end of the shortest version. So if you want to know more about the practical, worldly, esoteric, spiritual meaning and how it affects committed relationships, hookup relationships and family relationships and co-worker relationships and the karma and much more about Mercury in Capricorn, keep on listening. So as I said, astrologically speaking, when Mercury enters Capricorn, it allows us to be more goal-orientated and practical. It's a cosmic reminder to get down to business and tackle the things we've been putting off. On the worldly, materialistic level, it encourages us to focus on our professional goals, reputation, and bringing more financial stability in our life. So it can be like having a clever little assistant in our pockets that nudges us throughout the period to make smarter decisions with our money and invest our time and other resources more wisely as well. On the political level, politics can become more strategic. If it's not strategic enough, politicians will have to choose their words more carefully and make more calculated moves, and it allows them to be more grounded and more down to earth at this time as well. And this approach is what's needed when Mercury's in Capricorn on the mundane level, if politicians and leaders want to influence those they govern. On a spiritual, esoteric level, it allows us to bring more discipline to our spiritual or careers or educational development, and wanting us to find practical ways to integrate our spirituality into our daily lives. Symbolically, it wants us to be more logical and organised in our thinking. It wants us to take a more of a systematic mindset to thinking and doing things, paying attention to the finer details. Creatively, it can inspire us to find more innovative solutions to our practical problems. Artists and creatives, sometimes we can find it hard to bring our content and our visions into reality. So this allows us to do so. to actually take practical action so we can have tangible results. Emotionally, it wants us to be more rational and grounded in our emotions, but we just have to watch out for being too emotionally cold, especially in relationship, which I'll talk a bit more about later. So ultimately, it's a good energy to set emotional boundaries and make decisions based on practical considerations rather than on emotions. But as I said, we must not ignore emotions completely. So now I'm going to talk about the karma of Mercury entering Capricorn. So the karma of this transit all lie in the lessons of hard work and perseverance, keeping on when the going gets tough, overcoming our obstacles and facing our limitations. And this requires patience and determination, as well as over our lifetime dealing with our childhood trauma, our relationship traumas, heartbreak, setbacks, losses, people dying, transitioning to the next life. It can be hard. Even when we use spirituality to help us understand these things, it can still be hard. So right now, the karma of this transit is to really try and understand that life can be hard work, but if we keep on pushing, we can overcome these obstacles and become more self-resilient and just understand ourselves and lives a bit more. One key lesson of life is to know thyself, to be true to ourselves, but a lot of the time we live up to expectations of others, never meeting our real self. So in astrology, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Capricorn energy and Saturn can be feared because they bring realism to our lives. It wants us to be like, yeah, so you want to be a singer? Are you prepared to, practice? Because singing is hard work. To sing in tune is actually, some people are born natural, but the breathing and all the rest of it, people can make it sound easy, but it's hard work to do anything. Yeah, you want to play the drums, you have to deal with keeping your hands and your wrists in good shape so you can play them drums and stuff. So it's about just getting realistic about what it takes to meet our goals. So Mercury in Capricorn wants us to set realistic goals, become more accountable for our life choices, take personal responsibility and embrace the process of growth, and enter and commit to lifelong growth, especially in the way we communicate with others as well. In terms of past life implications, past lives where you may have struggled with authority or taken on leadership roles what you weren't ready for, or faced the consequences of your actions in some other way, or neglected your responsibility with communication, or lacked, being sort of realistic in your goal setting and you failed to meet your goals and stuff. So lifetimes where basically maybe you didn't work hard, or where you did work hard may come to your attention on a subconscious or conscious level through experiences, and you ultimately are being asked to face the consequences of your actions. And past life lessons, subconsciously, skills you may have learned with your communications and taking responsibility may just come out of you right now, to the shock of you and others in in the case of some of you. But ultimately, the karmic lessons that come up now just want us to really get into our minds and heart and prepare for the hard work that it takes to reach our success over a lifetime. So now I'm going to talk about how Mercury in Capricorn can affect our relationships on a deeper level. So in terms of family relationships, positively speaking, this energy can lead to more productive discussions around long-term goals. So this can be about household chores or firming up on plans for the future in terms of household finances and rule setting and stuff like that. Family members may find themselves, being more strategic together, making practical decisions and working towards, shared goals. Or negatively, as I said, conversations can be more business-like and lack emotional warmth, which can be a good thing if we're having discussions about house rules and difficult decisions. It can allow us to be emotionally detached and be more logical in our thinking and get things done more quicker. So being more emotionally reserved is not the issue, but the switching of emotions completely can be. So try not to just become focused on the facts and achievements on your career, and neglect the emotional support that your partner or your family relationships crave, because the stoic nature of Capricorn can sometimes create a sense of distance, and it can just make it harder for us to engage and express our emotions. But we have to try and remember the importance of nurturing emotional bonds, even when we're going after, career and other material successes and stuff. In terms of friendship, they allow us to sort of become more practical and ambitious in our friendships. It encourages friends to support each other's goals and help each other achieve success. Conversations can be more focused on, material status and career advancements and networking opportunities and personal growth. And this can be a good thing or a bad thing. If one of you or someone in your circle wants to discuss emotions and you're like, no, I don't want to do that, that could cause issues. So just try and be sensitive while also respecting your boundaries, but also appreciating other people's needs. And I'm not saying do things that you're not comfortable with, but at least be polite about, hey, saying, I don't think I'm the right person to talk about this with right now. Maybe you should talk to ABC or whatever, So we have to try and be polite, or friendships can just become transactional during this time, or we may lose some by being emotionally cold, especially if people are not used to being that way as well. Or surprisingly, someone who is normally emotionally detached, maybe a bit more emotional, stuff like that can happen, but more in a practical, grounded way. So in terms of co-worker relationships, again, it can make people more productive and efficient in teamwork in the workplace, working towards common objectives, supporting each other, being determined to meet individual and team goals. And even if, someone is not benefiting, it could just be more, practical and communicative, and just leading to helping each other or learning new skills and stuff, creating sort of just a productive environment. But again, it can make it harder for us to connect on a personal level in the workplace, so we just have to remember to just socialise and stuff as well, and take breaks together and engage in other team building activities, rituals, going outside for lunch breaks, whatever, to help maintain a sense of connection and support between co-workers. So when it comes to romantic relationships, we may find ourselves discussing future plans, wanting to bring more financial stability into our life and career goals. We may take more of a practical approach to stability and security, seeking these amongst other things that speak commitment in our relationships, and just focus on building a stronger foundation for your future together. But this can make people less spontaneous, and romance can be lacking on date night. So as people in relationships take a serious mindset to it, but this can be good. Like I said, you can just be like, I want to commit more, I want something deeper, moving in together, planning to move to a different country, or talking about moving careers, or starting a family business together, or talking about restructuring the family business you've already got together. So ideally, this is a good energy to work on commitment, but also set time out for date nights and being spontaneous, even if it's just a little note or just a little text. It's important to be more honest and open and communicate your needs and desires, and trying to balance meeting your needs and your partner's or partner's needs, and prioritize your emotional connection as well as your practical goals, and finding that balance, that much needed balance between responsibility and romance. In terms of hookup relationships, some individuals may question the long-term viability of these arrangements, thinking about, do I want to stay in this arrangement, or do I want more commitment? Some of you may desire more meaningful connections and reevaluate what love and intimacy really mean to you and what you really want from your relationships, making sure they align with meeting your desires and emotional fulfillment. Because people can become more introspective, more self-reflected, you may just think, I don't want these hookup relationships anymore, I want it to be committed, and this can cause problems because the other partner or partners could have been okay with this hookup arrangement and stuff, but it's important to take responsibility for being true to yourself and setting safe boundaries and practicing safe and consensual intimacy, and regularly checking in with yourself and others to make sure that the arrangement is meeting everybody's needs and stuff like that. So communication is key in committed and hookup relationships right now. Just make sure you look after your emotional well-being as well, and psychological and spiritual needs as well. So in terms of career, as I said, our focus and concentration can increase. So this means we can set clear goals and work towards them effectively and diligently, taking daily steps to meet them. We may find ourselves taking a more sort of just like precise and structured approach to our day-to-day tasks and getting our ideas across in the workplace, and this can lead to increased productivity and some of you getting recognition for your hard work right now. Spiritually, it wants us to explore more traditional systems, even if we modernize them, seeking wisdom from ancient traditions and teachings, encouraging us to integrate being practical into our spiritual ways of life and ideas, and finding ways to apply our beliefs in a meaningful way into our day-to-day life as well, being grounded and disciplined in how we go about our spiritual development right now. In terms of personal development, it also gives us that discipline to set realistic goals, be honest with ourselves and open up to ourselves that we really are going to need to grow, assessing our strengths and weaknesses, making a plan to manage our weaknesses, and just seek further opportunities for growth and progression throughout our life as well. In terms of our educational goals, we can become more dedicated to learning, seeking out structured and organised ways of getting new knowledge. So it's ideal for concentrated study, as we're able to absorb information in a more focused way, and we're drawn to more sort of traditional approaches to learning things and retaining and teaching information as well. Also, it's great energy for taking exams, online certifications and stuff like that as well. In terms of financial planning, it can create the right energy for us to set realistic budgets and set realistic financial goals, and just bring overall informed decision making and organisation to our finances as well. So good for working on wills, life planning, investments and retirement strategies and stuff like that as well, and just researching different strategies for saving and investing your money over your lifespan, and looking for solid and reliable options that align with your long-term financial needs and objectives as well. And even if you just start with something small, like tracking your day-to-day expenses, giving yourself cash instead of using your contactless card all the time. Some of us can get caught up in overspending that way. So now I'm just going to finish up by talking about the best things for creatives, professionals, entrepreneurs, alternative healers and lovers to do when Mercury is in Capricorn, because it's just the thing I like to do. So creatives should focus on refining, upgrading their skills and exploring new avenues of expression for the design or singing or dancing, whatever it is you do. Practicing more discipline and organisation in your creative processes can make you have breakthroughs and become more effective overall. Professionals can use the most of this energy by networking and being practical, and just being more strategic about your career planning. Entrepreneurs, great for you to develop solid business plans and strategies, analyse market trends and research, and to just open your doors to maybe working with other people that are like-minded or seeking mentorship. Alternative healers can just delve into ancient wisdom, incorporating innovative and more holistic practices, or becoming more holistic if you already are a holistic healer, and just being more grounded in your healing work, asking your clients questions to make sure that you're providing efficient and transformative healing services lovers, the best use of this energy is just to make plans for the future, enjoy the romance, be open and honest, be committed and patient, and create a solid foundation for your life. If you are single right now, you can think about what type of partner you would like to attract in your life and taking practical steps to do so. So dealing with your psychological, emotional and spiritual wounds, or committing to start doing so, continuing doing so. Just maybe dating yourself, just giving yourself some love and nurturing as well. Just setting your romantic priorities and just going out there and joining groups or pursuing hobbies. You may meet someone at work, who knows. Try and just be positive about being single and life in general, and just keep on going on with determination in all aspects of your life, but especially in the way that you love yourself while you are single. So yeah, that's the end of this analysis on Mercury transiting in Capricorn, and take care. See you next time.